Mike Vrabel is 25% of NFL fans watching their team lose every week, and Arthur Smith is the other 25% of fans watching their team lose every week. Welcome to the real Week 6 winners and losers. Big loser, my Broncos, who traded away Randy Gregory for nothing. Also, Randy Gregory could immediately get a sack as a 49er. Winners, the Browns, playing the 49ers after Randy Gregory was there just long enough to infect the 49ers with the Broncos losing disease. That's right, Cleveland with PJ Walker shocked the 49ers. The Jets shocked the Eagles as the final two undefeated teams took home L's. The Giants got robbed, but since I like the team that robbed them, I am pro-robbery. I love crime. I love robbery-themed crime and all crimes related to robbery. Pretty much every quarterback was terrible this week. We'll get to that. Let's kick this episode off with the sensation that's taking over the football world. No, not defense, the Blop 10. 10 plays from the week that make you go blop. Number 10, the Titans and punter Ryan Stonehouse saving a touchdown by chasing down Devin Duvernay. Stonehouse reached a speed of 19.76 miles per hour, and without checking, he is the fastest punter alive. Number 9, this pregame skirmish between the Browns and 49ers set the tone for a physical match in Cleveland. Good rule of thumb, do not mess with Trent Williams. The Blop 8. Giants offensive lineman Justin Pugh did indeed come
straight off the couch.
This is actually what Justin Pugh looked like moments before the Giants called him. Number 7, somehow this is not a first down.
He's saying it's short.
How?
What?
How is that short?
If the refs measured my penis like they do first downs, then I guess it's technically not 6 inches.
Could be the camera angle. I mean, from here, it...
Number 6. I'm just going to straight up steal RG3's joke for this. Jada to Will Smith every chance she gets. It's not stealing if you say you are stealing. Remember, I said I love robbery. Also, why is DK Metcalf now the dirtiest player in the NFL not named McCorkle? Number 5, this Amari Cooper catch. Oh wow, it had a 9% chance to be caught. The least probable event in Cleveland since the Browns won that game. Number 4, punty Johnny Hekker was victimized by the flop. If you fall down with a punter in your face, you should be cut. You should be cut for embarrassing your team, the league, and your family. Number 3, a hard hit that was not flagged. Sorry, Devontae, that hit and turnover set up Jacoby Myers with a very sweet revenge TD. Second year in a row that Myers has accounted for a game-changing touchdown in Las Vegas involving the Patriots.
Stanford band nowhere in sight. Uh-oh, it's picked off. Uh-oh, oh no. Unbelievable. Oh wow.
Number 2, everyone loves a big man running with the ball, and Quinnen Williams had a look what I found interception against the Eagles. Sometimes you have to take matters into your own hands. Like when you sneeze and say bless you and then thank yourself.
Bless you. Thank you.
Or simply playing with yourself.
I'm gonna go play with myself today. So, see how I feel.
God, I love Quinnen Williams. And number 1, the number 1 spot this week is going to one-handed catches. A one-hander by Evan Ingram, a one-hander by Alec Pierce, and a one-hander by Kenneth Walker. Congrats, you guys are the best at doing mono jobs. And here at 0, CJ Stroud's first interception is fumbled, and it goes back to the Texans. This guy can do no wrong. Congrats on the big win over the Saints this week, Houston.
I would say we just dogs.
Starting with some losers, NFL players trying to, play football. There are good rules in the NFL designed to keep players safe and reduce head injuries. I'm all for that. For example, Kyle Hamilton was ejected for this hit. Nobody wants to see helmet-to-helmet hits like this in the game, and I'm happy the NFL has done everything it can to remove this. However, I believe in the fourth quarter of football games, all roughing or unnecessary roughness or it looked like a hard hit, so I'm gonna throw a flag plays should be reviewed. The 49ers were basically robbed of a win because this Tashawn Gibson hit was flagged. The Giants got dinged for roughing the passer, even as Bobby Okereke pulled up on the hit It wasn't in the fourth quarter, but Jesus, the NFL cannot allow guys to do the right thing and still get flagged. Winners? The Jaguars defense, which just keeps fueling their victories. Now, running back Travis Etienne did score 2 touchdowns in the span of 16 seconds in this game, but that was because of the Jaguars defense taking the ball away. Foyesade Oluokun had 15 tackles, Josh Allen had a sack and 4 pressures, Trayvon Walker had 5 pressures and a half sack, a really dominant win, while the offense was merely efficient. My winning quarterback this week, Jared Goff, he played a great defense in Tampa Bay and was the only quarterback with over 300 passing yards and no picks this week. He did that all with no help from the run game after David Montgomery got burned by the injury bug. Montgomery's x-rays came back negative during the game, but he stayed out. And I would not trust a fucking pirate ship's x-ray equipment either, David. So, smart call. Goff also strategically threw a pass to Amon-Ra St. Brown and set up Craig Reynolds for the block of the year, firing up his team. Amon-Ra had 124 yards in this game. You've heard the Dennis Reynolds system from It's Always Sunny? Well, here's the Craig Reynolds system. C-R-A-I-G, which stands for C, the defender, R, run to the defender, A, attack the defender, I, isolate the ball carrier, and G, Goff passing touchdown. Pretty easy.
That's the easy part, D.
Losing quarterback? Any mother licker not named Jared Goff or Tua Tagovailoa this week. Why did it feel like every QB played like shit or got hurt? I almost put in 2015 Peyton Manning tape to make me feel something this week. 4 of the 6 quarterbacks who threw for over 300 yards lost. 10 of the 11 QBs who threw for less than 200 yards and more than 100 yards won. 4 QBs threw for less than 100 yards, and Russell Wilson was the only one of those guys who played a full fucking game. If I didn't recap the Broncos game, Russ would have been the losing QB this week. 3 quarterbacks had 3 picks. Gardner Minshew, 3 picks. Jalen Hurts, 3 picks. That cost his team the game, their undefeated season. Desmond Ridder, 3 interceptions that might have cost him his job, including a really bad one in the end zone late in the fourth quarter that did have Arthur Smith looking like a head coach in a Fairley Brothers movie. I do want to mention Desmond Ridder being kind enough to help Kyle Pitts score a touchdown, just the 4th of Pitt's career, but damn, Desmond he's holding a pretty good Falcons team way back right now. The end zone pick with 5:13 left wasn't even his last interception. He tossed another one with 30 seconds left as Atlanta was driving again to try and tie the game. Opposite of Ridder, Sam Howell tossed 3 touchdowns and a nice win for the Commies, but Howell took another 5 sacks in this game, and Howell's on pace to be sacked 96 times, which would shatter David Carr's record of 76. I am concerned for Sam Howell's life. Derek Carr threw the ball to no one in particular on this play. I'm assuming that, like Sam Darnold, he must have been seeing ghosts. Alvin Kamara's no longer suspended, but that doesn't mean he can be everywhere. Mac Jones tossed the ball right to the Raiders' defense. Probably the worst throw a Patriots made since Jacoby Myers to Mac Jones last year. That was Mac's 7th turnover in 3 games, although he played better after that. Gardner Minshew forgot he's not a Jaguar anymore, throwing a trio of picks to his former squad and also losing a fumble, extending the Colts' winless streak in Jacksonville to nearly a decade. To be fair to Minshew, one of his picks can 100% be blamed on the announcers for jinxing him.
Minshew's been good. He's played almost 200 snaps this year. He's yet to throw a pick. 2nd and 10. He steps up in the pocket, and here it is. It is picked.
Winners, the Rams, Kyren Williams, and Cooper Kupp. The first half of the Cards game was a dogfight. Again, I'm not referencing you, Mike Vick, please. The score was 6-9 at half, and then Kupp and rookie back Kyren Williams went off. I'm pretty sure all of Kyren Williams' 158 rushing yards came in the second half. Actually, just let me make up something to make him sound like a real badass. Kyren Williams had negative 88 rushing yards at halftime and then finished the game with a $158. And yes, that was the most of any back this week. Kupp caught a touchdown, toe dragged so hard that I thought his foot was wearing women's clothing, and caught a prototypical Kupp deep ball. Losing play was going to Geno Smith, who got the least satisfying BJ on earth to hand the Bengals their third win of the season. BJ Hill sacks Geno on fourth and what was essentially goal. Geno threw 2 picks, one bad one in the red zone, another one I think DK Metcalf just gave up on the play. Joe Burrow is such a good guy here. He's seen making sure rookie Andre Iosiabas got the ball for his first ever NFL touchdown. Joe Burrow is such a good guy. I'm pretty sure Ian Eagle wants to give him one of those satisfying BJs.
Joe Burrow is smoking hot.
And what I'm implying there is that I think Ian Eagle wants to use his mouth to orally please Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow is smoking hot.
Jamar Chase had 6 receptions for 80 yards, all while wearing his 7-Eleven necklace. Jamar Chase making fossil fuels cool for the first time since the 80s.
America likes the freedom of 7-Eleven.
Suck it, libs. Then we've got the Kirk Cousins Award going to the QB who, no matter what he did, his team was going to lose anyway. Now, Cousins won, ironically in spite of his own efforts, so he's spared from his own award. This week, I'm giving it to Justin Fields. Fields dislocated his thumb in this game, popped it back in. Apparently, he couldn't grip a football, which never stopped Dan Jones from playing. Fields didn't do too much in this game before getting hurt, but had he stayed in, I believe the Bears would have won. But in typical Chicago Bears fashion, as soon as they give their fans hope, they rip it away. Like a shitty magic trick where they pull that tablecloth. No, the trick doesn't work. Everything on the table crashes and spills, and the magician doing the trick wasn't even invited to the party in the first place. In fact, he's a sexual predator. Winners, the Browns defense. I was ready to give Cleveland the moral victory this week. I had the joke written already. While we thought there were no morals left in Cleveland, the Browns hung in there with PJ Walker against a very banged up 49ers team. Luckily for Cleveland, they actually won in dramatic fashion after rookie kicker Jake Moody, who put 49ers fans in a bad mood, missed this 41-yard field goal in the final seconds. The 49ers had trailed for a total of 1 minute and 45 seconds all season, and they lost to the Browns. They say nothing gold can stay. You know what I'm talking about, right, 49ers fans? The Browns defense held the 49ers offense to 215 total yards. The Browns D has only allowed 1,002 yards through 5 games, the fewest by any team in a half century. Just for reference, the Dolphins have gained over 3,000 yards this season already. 6 games, but still, you can do the math. It's good. Or it's bad. It's good math. And yes, the 49ers were injury losers. Trent Williams went down for a while in this game. Christian McCaffrey exited with injury. Deebo Samuel exited with injury. And to make matters worse for the 49ers, PJ Walker filling in for an injured Deshaun Watson wasn't even that good. Although I sort of love the fact that he won while throwing 0 touchdowns and 2 picks. Actually, that's the best stat line of the week. Losers, the Raiders and Ravens red zone offenses. Both teams got a win, but it had nothing to do with either of them being good at scoring touchdowns. That's how fucked up football was this week. The Raiders got into the red zone 6 times and scored 1 touchdown. The Ravens got into the red zone 6 times with 1 touchdown. They both kicked a bunch of field goals to get the win. The Raiders I get. They had to go with Brian Hoyer in this game, who couldn't even give Devontae Adams a chance to catch a fade in the corner of the end zone. But the Ravens have Lamar Jackson. Somewhere, Greg Roman is thinking about the Roman Empire once a day and also thinking about how he actually wasn't the problem in Baltimore. My moral victory goes to the Panthers for 1 quarter. The Panthers jumped out to a 14-0 lead on the Dolphins on the road before falling 42-21. Dolphins put in backup quarterback Mike White, and he immediately threw a pick 6, which makes me feel really, really shitty about that touchdown Mike White threw against the Broncos. But here's what I'm going to do for you, Carolina. I'm going to play your 2 touchdowns, going up 14-0, and then I'm going to play this pick 6 for you, and then we're just pretend like the game ended there and you won. This is what it would look like if you won the game, Carolina. Winners, Josh McDaniels beating his former master, Bill Belichick, with Belichick's former backup, and with Belichick's other former backup, and with the guy Belichick didn't want to resign. Jimmy Garoppolo left the game with a back injury. Brian Hoyer came in and did throw this 48-yard bomb to Trey Tucker. And I swear to God, if Fox broadcasts a Raiders game and forces Trey Tucker to stand next to Daniel Carlson, Tucker Carlson, I'm never watching again. Mac Jones did have a horrific pick, but he was also victimized by the worst drop of the week. McCorkle uncorks here at the end of the game, backed up in his own end zone, and puts a dot in Devontae Parker's hands. Also, Max Crosby could finish him off in the end zone. Losing decisions, whatever the Titans are doing every week. Ryan Tannehill was injured after playing poorly, and you'd think after spending picks on quarterbacks 2 years in a row, they'd have a decent contingency plan. Alas, they do not. Mike Vrabel, what are you doing? Malik Willis was sacked 4 times in 1 quarter, and second-round pick Will Levis was inactive. Although that could very well change after their bye week coming up. Right now, the Titans' QBs have combined for just 2 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, as well as averaging fewer than 7 yards an attempt. Derrick Henry still might be the best passer on this team. The Titans are wasting a top 10 scoring defense right now. It's sad. Winning team/unit? The Lions defense. For just the 4th time in team history, they haven't allowed an opponent to gain 100 yards on the ground through the first 6 games of the year. It hasn't happened since the Depression in 1932, and that's accounting for inflation. Last season, the Lions finished 29th in run defense at the end of the year. All of those people who laughed at the Lions for taking a first-round linebacker, you can take a bite out of your own kneecap and shove it up your 3-toed ass cheek. Not a coincidence that the Lions share the best record in the league, the first time they've done that this late into the season since 1993. Winning upsetters, those pesky-ass Jets. Now, I briefly mentioned Jalen Hurts threw 3 picks, but DeAndre Swift also lost a fumble. So yeah, the Eagles lost because they turned the ball over 4 times, while playing that pesky-ass Jets defense. This game was about as dumb as games get. The Eagles outplayed the Jets in pretty much every category. More yards, more first downs, way more 3rd and 4th down conversions. The Jets converted just 2 of 11 on 3rd down and failed on their 1 4th down attempt. The Eagles sacked Zach Wilson 5 freaking times. Philly had just 5 penalties to the Jets 9, and they still lost this game because of turnovers. Jalen Hurts, his 3rd interception was the final dagger. He sent this ball right to Tony Adams' breadbasket with less than 2 minutes in the game. A play later, Breece Hall walks into the end zone for the win. This is concerning for the Eagles. You know, the 49ers' loss can be blamed on injuries, in addition to playing a pesky-ass defense. The Jets were without their 2 starting corners, Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed, plus backup corner Brandon Eccles didn't play. Not to mention their lineman Elijah Vera Tucker. Philly got beat by a very banged-up Zach Wilson-led team, and after seeing both Williams brothers get turnovers for the Jets, they better be on the Kelsey Brothers podcast this week. Robert Saleh said after the game that his defense has played 6 good quarterbacks and embarrassed them all.
You know, through these first 6 weeks, we've played a gauntlet of quarterbacks. I know we haven't gotten all wins, but we've embarrassed all of them.
So you're saying Russell Wilson's good, Robert? Also, what does that say about your own quarterback if you've embarrassed those guys and you only won half of your games? Also, you don't get to say that when you have a loss to Mac Jones. Losers, viewers of Sunday Night Football, Tyrod Taylor was starting in place of the injured Dan Jones. Oddly, the last time I was this bored watching a Bills offense was when Tyrod Taylor was their QB in that 3-10 loss in the playoffs to the Jaguars. Outside of 2 missed field goals from Tyler Slappa the Baseman, the most notable thing that occurred in the first half of this game was Tyrod Taylor audibling to a run on the goal line with no timeouts to end the half. So watching the clock hit 0 and not getting any points. Spoiler. It's exactly where the game would end for the Giants. Now, Josh Allen, after injuring his shoulder and getting checked for a concussion, somehow decided that's when he'd start playing like Josh Allen. It's almost like he's Rocky. He's got to be punched in the face 50 fucking times before he throws 2 fourth-quarter TDs, including a laser to Quentin Morris. Tyler Bass missed his 3rd field goal after previously making every one heading into this game. And then all hell broke loose on Twitter when the Giants lost the game on the goal line. Tyrod Taylor's 200 passing yards were more than Josh Allen had in this game, but this toss to Darren Waller would have given him 201 and the win. However, the Bills got away with a little pass interference, just a little pesky pass interference, preventing the Giants from scoring an offensive TD in 3 straight games, or 205 minutes, however you like to count that shit. And on Monday night, we learned what's Joe Buck's favorite drug?
I mean, just pure ecstasy.
Pure ecstasy was not this game. Aikman finally admitted that he does indeed look like Jay-Z.
There's a meme that's going around. People think that's my doppelganger, you know, me and JC. You know, how about that?
What you know about moving snowflakes, though, Troy? And luckily, we had this mysterious Chargers fan to keep us entertained throughout the game. There's a couple first quarter touchdowns by both teams, which got me hopeful for fun football. Boy, was I let down. Austin Elector, because of electricity, not politics, nearly took a screen to the house in his first game back, but that was about it. Keenan Allen scored on the quick hitter from Herbie fully loaded. Justin Herbert is now a true dual threat QB. Threat in the passing game and threat in the receiving game. And he did that with a broken finger, in case you didn't know. Now, Dak channeled his inner Peyton Manning and scored on the QB keeper. And Kellen Moore, well, he went to the Arthur Smith School of Football Fascisms, not to be confused with fascisms. Both offenses sucked in the red zone in this game, or both defenses were tremendous in the red zone in this game. I can't really tell anymore. The game was decided when Pollard ripped off a 60-yard catch and run, and for the second time, Dallas scored after getting into the red zone for again like the 100th time, which was guided by Wilson from Home Improvement, calling the perfect goal line pass to Brandon Cooks, who was clutch every time Dallas needed him. CeeDee Lamb had a big game, but a Cowboys blunder on a punt gave the Chargers life. It gave them the ball in the red zone, which was good because Justin Herbert, for the second time, missed a wide open Keenan Allen. Dak missed one later to Pollard. That late Chargers TD had mystery Chargers fan going nuts, and we all loved it. We love her. We love her. And the Chargers scored despite a tremendous tackle from Marquise Bell just a play before. Keep an eye on that dude. And my take is the Cowboys and Chargers are both very good and very bad at the same time. And that literally changes every week, every game, every quarter, every drive, every fucking play. And I stand by that they're both good and terrible. And I will never backpedal those comments like this ref. Micah Parsons eventually closed out the game with a huge sack, and our mystery Chargers fan was crushed. Come back tomorrow, I'll have power rankings up, and there's gonna be some shakeups in the power rankings after this week. Did you subscribe yet?